I came home from work thinking I'd finally get a quiet evening, until I opened my garage and found two Teslas parked inside, just sitting there like they belonged. Here's the twist: I don't own a Tesla, and even crazier, I'm not part of the HOA, but somehow an HOA board member, who I'd never even met, decided my garage was the perfect place to park her cars, without asking me. That's when I learned her name was Karen. Yep, you can already guess where this is going. At first, I thought it was a mistake. Maybe she was lost. Maybe she got confused. But no, this was intentional. She acted like it was totally normal. I stood there in my own driveway, being told I was lucky to have my garage used because it helps the community. I don't even live in an HOA neighborhood. How did this woman get access? Why my house? The situation only got stranger from there. Karen wasn't just parking the cars, she had a whole story behind it, and it involved fake documents, entitled behavior, and a bizarre claim that she had authority. The worst part, things were only just getting started. What happened next had me questioning if I was being pranked, or if I needed to call the police. Stick around, because this story only gets weirder. So I asked her straight up, "How did you even get in my garage?" She gave me this smug look and said, "The HOA has access to all community resources." I told her again, "I'm not in the HOA. My house was built outside of the HOA boundary. Always has been." I even double-checked my paperwork just to be sure. But Karen, she wasn't hearing it. She said something about community blending and how some new rule allowed the HOA to manage nearby homes for the greater good. What does that even mean? I started piecing things together. Earlier that week, I noticed my side gate unlocked and thought maybe I forgot to close it. Now I think she used it to get in. Somehow she had a remote that opened my garage. That's the part that really shook me. Someone had been in my house. Not just my space, but inside the walls I lock up every night. And not just once. She admitted this was her third time using it, like it was a shared parking lot or something. I went to the HOA office the next morning, thinking this had to be a mistake. But what I found there made everything worse. Let's just say Karen wasn't acting alone, and the people backing her, they weren't too happy I was asking questions. When I got to the HOA office, the receptionist gave me this weird smile like she already knew why I was there. Before I could even say much, she handed me a folder labeled Community Integration Agreement. My name was on it, typed neatly at the top. But I never signed this thing. I flipped through the pages and saw a fake signature that looked nothing like mine. Someone had forged my name and submitted paperwork claiming I'd agreed to let the HOA utilize my property for overflow parking. And get this, it was backdated by 3 months. I asked to speak with whoever was in charge. A guy named Mr. Dalton came out, super calm and polite, but it felt like he was reading from a script. He told me this was all part of the pilot program to expand HOA resources into non-member homes near the border of the community. I told him this was trespassing, plain and simple. He smiled and said, "Let's not make this personal." Meanwhile, Karen wasn't slowing down. That same day, a third car showed up. Not a Tesla this time, but some kind of delivery vehicle. I caught her directing it into my driveway like she owned the place. And when I confronted her, she said, "You're part of something bigger now." That line keeps echoing in my head, because I still don't know what she meant, or how deep this thing really goes. By the end of that week, I felt like a stranger in my own home. Every time I pulled into my driveway, I was half expecting to find a new car, a stranger or worse, Karen with that same fake smile and clipboard. I started locking every door, every window, even put up security cameras. But somehow, that didn't stop anything. One night, around 2 a.m., my phone pinged. Motion detected in the garage. I checked the camera feed and there it was. A man I'd never seen before, stepping out of my garage like it was his. calm, casual, carrying a box labeled HOA inventory. I rushed outside, but he was already pulling away in one of the Teslas. I tried calling the police, but when I explained the situation, HOA using my garage without permission, they said it sounded like a civil matter. Civil? Someone broke into my garage, forged documents, and started storing things at my house. So I went to a lawyer. That's when things got real. He looked over the fake agreement and told me flat out, it wasn't just shady, it was illegal. But here's the thing, the more we dug, the more we realized this wasn't just one rogue neighbor. There was an entire network behind this. Multiple homes, multiple names, and Karen, she was at the center of all of it. Then, just when I thought I'd seen it all, something happened that changed everything. The next morning, I woke up to find a bright yellow notice taped to my front door. Final warning, non-compliance with HOA expansion agreement. It had a fake HOA logo, an official-looking seal, and a demand that I cease all obstruction or face legal action and possible property lines. My heart dropped. They were now threatening to take my home, my house that I've owned, paid for, and maintained with zero ties to that HOA. I called my lawyer again, furious, but before he could respond, my neighbor from 2 houses down, who I barely ever talked to, came knocking. She looked nervous, like she was about to confess something. She leaned in and whispered, "You're not the only one." They used my shed for weeks before I realized what was happening. And when I pushed back, my water got shut off. That's when it hit me. This wasn't just about my garage. It was part of something way bigger. People around me were being intimidated, manipulated, and slowly absorbed into this fake expansion project without consent. Later that night, I reviewed my security footage again. That's when I spotted something I missed before. Karen wasn't just directing that delivery truck. She was handing off a key, not just any key, one that looked exactly like my garage remote. But I'd never given her one. So how did she get it? Or worse, who else had one? That's when the real fear set in. I knew I had to act fast. With that footage of Karen handing over what looked like my garage remote, I finally had something solid. My lawyer helped me file a formal police report, and this time, with video evidence and multiple neighbors willing to speak up, the authorities took it seriously. Officers showed up at Karen's house the next day with a warrant. What they found blew everything wide open. Inside her garage were labeled bins full of fake HOA documents, keys, and even garage remotes programmed to nearby homes. Turns out, Karen had been working with a small group posing as HOA officials, targeting properties just outside the official boundaries. They forged integration agreements, used legal-sounding threats, and slowly took over parts of people's properties, garages, sheds, even basements in one case, all under the guise of helping expand community support. It wasn't just annoying, it was organized trespassing and fraud. Karen was arrested, along with 2 others from the so-called board, the Teslas, rented under fake accounts, the inventory in my garage. Just props to make everything look official. I finally got my space and my peace of mind back. But here's the twist. A week after everything settled down, I got a letter in the mail. No return address, just one line inside. *Q stopped Karen, but the program isn't over. After that letter showed up, I was on edge for days. I installed a new garage system, changed every lock, and even got my house professionally swept for hidden devices, just in case. I never found out who sent that note, but nothing else ever happened. Maybe it was just someone trying to scare me, or maybe it really was part of something bigger. Either way, I wasn't taking chances. The real HOA came forward later and made a public statement. They had nothing to do with Karen or her group. Turns out, they'd been getting complaints for months, but didn't investigate because the targeted homes technically weren't under their jurisdiction. Classic. Most of the neighbors who were affected banded together. We shared information, got legal help, And a few of us even started a neighborhood watch. Not to spy, just to make sure no one else tried anything like this again. I still don't fully understand why Karen did what she did. Power, control. Maybe she actually believed she was helping. All I know is this: your home is yours, and no one, not even someone waving a fake HOA badge, has the right to walk in and take it. Stay alert, trust your gut, and never ignore the small red flags.